Hey yo, a man in crisis. All right. I don't know if man in crisis is the way I'm going to put this, but one of the things that I learned recently, and I think Scott Galloway speaks deeply to this, is that there is an obvious shift in the privileges that men used to have compared to, say, the 70s, right, or the 80s. So if young men now, right, men that are in their 20s, mid 20s, whose parents were probably, adults in the 70s, 80s, um, are obviously seeing a difference in the way things were for their fathers. We understand that the increase in internet access means that a lot of people are not actually getting to be out there to be more active and more social. We understand that that also is making it more difficult for men to be able to interact not just with men directly through friendships and bonding, but also to meet women. We understand that the progress that the feminist movement has made and that society has embraced as far as advancing the cause and the rights of women also means that women have way more autonomy now than their parents did and their great their grandparents and great grandparents grandmothers did, right? And so that means that women are not forced into marriages that they don't want to, or are not in married relationship and marriage situations that their parents or grandparents may have turned down, because women can provide for themselves more, right? So women having more options, having more choices, obviously means that for a larger group of men, the options that they used to have, or the pool that they used to be able to tap into, whether to get married or to be in relationships, etc., has limited, right? And so having a limited pool, having access to the internet where you are distracted and playing your video games, or having access to other ways of kind of not having to do the work of going out there to meet people and especially court them and develop relationships, and translating that into marriage obviously means that a lot of men are on their own and isolated or lonely. We also understand that all these shifts have also resulted in less relationships, less marriages. And so, is there a crisis amongst men? I don't know if I will call it a crisis, but obviously there is a shift. And it just means that men have to adapt. Women have more education, women have more options, women have more resources, more successful, making more money. And so there are a few men that appeal to a large majority of women on dating apps, right? So most men are getting swipe left, and very few men are having access to a large pool of women, which of course is unsustainable in reality. But that is kind of where it's at. So to me, it may not be as much of a crisis as it is a shift in culture, and men would have to adapt. So that's just my thoughts.